Okay. So I'm going to start off with an unrelated slide just about myself. So in college, I would always take 2 extra classes each semester. One class was for fun so that I wouldn't just have all hard classes. And then I would also take one class so that I could plan on dropping it because, I could essentially pick the worst teacher and drop that class. And so essentially this was, part of how I'm built, where I like to make strategies and then share them. And this is how I took college classes so that, yeah, I enjoyed college because I'd have a fun class and I could drop the teacher that may have a really strong accent that I couldn't understand. And so that was my strategy for getting a degree in entrepreneurship back in the year 1995 to 99. Um, and then a little bit more backstory. I really enjoy creative business ideas. So I do a lot of trade. I've done trade for braces for my 3 of my 4 children. We've done trade with videographers, with writers for office space, pool cleaning service, national advertising, like with the Christian Business Directory, radio ads. We've done trade with for gift cards to different restaurants, vacation rentals, birthday parties, a wedding cake. We once did a trade deal with a church for someone to make this really cool song for us. We've done trade with roofing groups, and I've gotten some GoPros on trade, and I've done trade with Alliance for Life Missouri, International Life Services, CPAC in Northern California, NIFLA, and there's a lot more I could probably think of if I kept going. And then we've also, on the flip side, I'm also pretty thrifty, and I try and put myself in the shoes of a clinic who can't afford something to be creative with how we can make it work. And so since 2020, our donation receipts have tallied 175,000. And essentially, it's just a way of discounting price tags in order to make things accessible to those who need it. But yeah, so essentially that was sort of my icebreaker slide. So now we're going to jump into abortion pill talk. So this is essentially, I aligned my slides as problem, solution, and then lots of details. So the problem is that people get the abortion pill by mail, shipped to them. And this is some ad copy of an actual ad by Period Pills, and I call it Wicked or Evil or the Enemy's ad copy for the search phrase abortion pills overnight. That was the search phrase that we were using as one of our research queries. And the advertisement said period pills for when your period is late. If your period is late, you can take missed period pills to make sure you aren't pregnant. Period pills are safe, effective, and then it eclipses. And this was taken from an ad shown in Florida. And this is a real problem. The false beliefs, the manipulation, the way that they're targeting women with where they are. This is very, they are using, well, it's just evil. And so let's keep going here. This is the web page that connects with that ad. I just want you to hear some of the text. So what are period pills? Period pills are medication you can take if your period is late and you suspect that you are pregnant when you don't want to be. We also call these missed or late period pills. And if I click on get period pills now, or when I clicked on it, it went to a page that said period pills are available by telemedicine in every state and territory in the U.S. Period pill providers are listed by state below. Period pill providers currently offer this option in states where abortion is legal, as well as in states where abortion may be illegal or restricted. If you are pregnant, period pills will end an existing pregnancy which some people refer to as abortion. I'm going to show you some more detail. So if I click on to Texas, on that, they had all 50 states and a couple of other locations listed. If I click on Texas, there's 2 providers listed. And if I click on Florida, those same 2 national providers were listed. And then if I click onto one of those providers' websites, I want you to just to see some of the texts that were, part of the problem. Going a little bit further here. Our community-supported abortion program provides medication abortion during the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. There's sliding scale pricing. And then down below, it says our accompaniment model. We combine the knowledge and expertise of midwives with a solidarity-based accompaniment model learned from our Compass in Latin America. Not sure what that means. Our experienced team of midwives and doulas can, I went to, there we go, can let you know what to expect and how to prepare. And I see, the imagery over here shows a woman in her room, on her pillow, on her phone, and then someone helping her remotely on a computer, which is sort of interesting. And then there was this New York Times article that I heard about yesterday, and it came out. Essentially, the state of Texas filed a major lawsuit on December 12th against a New York doctor who mailed abortion pills to a county in Texas.
Period pill.
Oh, let me.
Just the abortion pill.
Sorry, let me just mute. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So essentially, a New York doctor had mailed abortion pills to a county in Texas, and the woman arguing that the doctor was practicing medicine without a Texas license and violating the state's abortion ban. The suit raises a messy legal question about whether one state can haul a doctor abiding by the law in another state into its courts or enforce a judgment if it wins. More than that, however, the suit is a window into the next battlefield over abortion rights and how abortion pills and telemedicine are reshaping the politics of abortion in America. This was in a New York Times article. And what it leads us to, let me get back to that screen. There we go. So first of all, jurisdiction. So while there may be a lawsuit against a doctor in New York, I don't quite know what the response is going to be to doctors that are in Europe who are shipping things overseas, or for when someone, there's a story by Pam Stenzel, where she lives in Florida, and she was talking with a college student who had a pack. She had several packs of abortion pills. I think she said she had 10 packs of 4, and she had them on hand in order to distribute them to someone who may need them. And so people aren't always getting these shipped overseas. They may be getting it from someone else in the dorm or from someone else in the area who has stockpiled. And so we have a new problem where we may have 24 hours, we may have 5 days, or we may not even have that. They may already have the abortion pill in hand and gotten it from someone who they know. It's sort of like the new drug dealers. It's a new drug distributing problem. So all to say is this is part of the problem. Going back to that website, on this website, when I expanded abortion pills are delivered to your door, it says we can arrange shipment to any U.S. state. Your medication kit will include 1 tablet of mifepristone and 12 tablets of misoprostol. It will arrive in a nondescript packaging in 2 to 5 business days. And I've heard some creative ways in which these abortion pills can arrive that disguise them as being something that they're not, like, making it look like a pregnancy massage thing. Anyways, so that's part of our problem. So now let's talk about abortion pill talk, which I'm tagging the solution. So abortion pill talk is a way of reaching women before the abortion pill reaches them. So essentially the goal is to reach them when they're researching the abortion pill or they're willing to talk about the abortion pill. And we want to use a national proactive campaign that we're calling Abortion Pill Talk. And another way of describing this project would be to call it, we're guiding clients to a values-based decision regarding medical abortion using counseling and medical language. One sec, can we mute? Sorry. Cool. And so this is a screenshot from the website that we've made of Abortion Pill Talk. I just want you to see the language. So we're using language like there is power in the pause, meaning taking time, thinking, getting information, and considering what to do. And we're trying to really build up the concept of avoiding regrets or no regrets, based on someone getting knowledge, having decision making, and having a values-based plan. Some more language that we have on this website uses, are you considering taking the abortion pill? And then we're trying to help build up that position of helping them understand where they are and what's going on with their body and what their options really are to help them be fully informed, such as talk to a knowledgeable expert, avoid decisional regret, and build a values-based plan. And so a lot of the all of the language, well, I guess a lot of the language is more accurate. A lot of the language that we're using in this model is under the leadership of Connie Ambrecht. So she's a nurse trainer who's been working with pregnancy clinics for more than 20 years. I don't know the exact number. And essentially that's where our word choice is coming from, along with also training and scripting will be coming from Connie. And then the team who will be using this training and scripting will include the Infinite Worth flight of nurses who will be handling the SMS texts, as well as which is under Rachel Owen's leadership with Infinite Worth. And then as well as the people who sign up to help field the phone calls that are part of the member pregnancy clinics, part of this national campaign, will also be leveraging Connie's training and scripting to know how to have this proactive medical/counseling response to this very focused scenario of someone thinking about taking the abortion pill and before they've taken the abortion pill. And it was interesting to learn that Rachel Owens with Infinite Worth was actually trained by Connie apparently a long time ago, because Connie didn't remember, but Rachel did. I don't know if that was a decade ago or 20 years ago. I don't quite know that either, but yeah. Okay, so this is, and I sort of wish Connie had made it. She's traveling right now to do a training, and I don't think she's going to make it to this call. So if she was here, I would let her walk through these 8 steps, but I'll try and do my best to walk through it. But just know that I'm not nearly as good as Connie as describing these. I can tell you that she will slow down and walk someone who's thinking about taking the abortion pill through these steps, through dialogue and conversation, and using techniques that will increase the amount of time it takes per step, as well as really help someone understand and buy into the decision that they discover, more so than are preached or taught, like through preaching or teaching, more of like guiding them through questions. She really, when I think of guiding someone, I think of like Sister Paula, who would ask questions in order to help someone find the answer that they need to find. So the first one is to get a lab quality pregnancy test and to ensure it's lab quality, essentially getting a high quality pregnancy test. And she would help them explain where they can get it or how about, and I can't do it justice because Connie is really good at walking through this part, or each one of these actually, but this is the first step in helping someone build a plan. And then the next step is to get information from a trusted source. For example, one who does not gain financially from your decision, which is a way of addressing Planned Parenthood, abortion clinics, places that charge a sliding scale fee, like the example we looked at before. I didn't mention that, but that was on their website. They charge between $150 to $600 for the abortion pill packet. But yeah, essentially we're addressing that and helping them understand the posture of who they should trust and who would be, based on financial gain. Step 3 is get information on what is occurring at 3 to 4 weeks gestation, so you don't find yourself with decisional regret in the future. And what Connie would often do is she would walk someone through the steps of going to a medical website or doing a certain Google search to see what is happening at that stage of a pregnancy, in order for the woman or the person that she's talking to and counseling to see the information. And when this is done via SMS, it can be a link can be provided to a website where if this is done over the phone, it could be addressed verbally to ask someone to, look, understand what your body.
Jacob, you got muted. Jacob, you're muted.
Testing.
Jacob,
Oh, okay.
There you go. Oh, no, you're muted
Testing.
again. Okay, there we go. We got you.
My microphone may have stopped working. Is that working now? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But yeah, so essentially, to get information about where she's at and helping her again find that information, and through guidance more so than telling her. And the next step is to get an ultrasound as early as 4 weeks. Most pregnancy clinics may only offer up to 5.5 or 6, but through Connie's training and leadership and guidance, we are pushing the envelope, because the woman who we're trying to help is looking at taking the abortion pill near 4 weeks, and we need to be able to offer help and ultrasounds earlier to match where she's at. And so this is, and we'll probably have a future webinar with Connie on the line so that she can speak to this, whereas I feel like I'm really ill-equipped to justify but she is completely equipped. So I may just keep going just because I don't want to, because I am not the medical person on the team and Connie's not here. Okay. So one of the responses that we have gotten, actually, I think the only negative response we've gotten to this idea so far, was that it felt like we were competing with pregnancy clinics with this idea. And we've had a lot of positives, so I don't want to make it seem like this is, a majority by any chance. But I do want to say the goal is to meet someone where they are at, on their phone, in their bedroom, whether they're in a abortion restricted state or a abortion unrestricted state.
Oh, Jacob, you disappeared again.
But can you still hear me at least?
Now we can hear you.
Okay.
No,
as long as you can hear
out,
me.
right? Yeah, no, you cut out for a minute there, so you have to back up just a little bit to reach women at abortion states. Yeah. Yeah.
So essentially, the goal is to drive traffic to help them where they are remotely over their phone, on their phone, whether it's by SMS or verbal, and then to draw them to a pregnancy clinic nearby to get services like a medical grade pregnancy test or an ultrasound, and as well as counseling. And so the goal is this is not just a appointment scheduling service. This is a way of providing counsel remotely, but then connect them with a pregnancy clinic, more so than it being step 1 to connect them with a pregnancy clinic. Okay. And then, so then step 5 is to get a professional consultation, an RN, for example, to build a plan of action. And again, Connie would walk someone through, like, what's a plan look like, what could be included, and helping guide the person she is counseling and helping to help build that through questions. And then step 6 is to get a list of resources giving shared experiences related to abortion pill outcomes. And as Connie might say, understand what's going to happen based on who's gone through this before. And because there's lots of testimonies of people regretting their abortion pill decision And there's really zero authentic, with someone saying, I don't regret that decision. It's all regret, like 99% regret. Or I think Connie might even say it's higher, but essentially that, and again, we'll have a future one that's really to help Connie pour over these, this kind of information in the future. And then step 7 is get a follow-up plan in place. This may include a second ultrasound to confirm growth. This may include a second consult, or it may include a follow-up visit post picking up your pills. Connie can speak more to that one, the next one. And then step 8 is get a referral for any additional information you need, a doctor's office, your closest emergency department, of what to do with an adverse outcome. In other words, be clear as to what you should do if anything goes wrong. And then again, counseling them on like, what are the possible outcomes and what would that look like? Are you prepared to get help? So that essentially, I'm sure medical experts can speak to that much better than I could. So those are the 8 questions that we're leveraging as part of our scripting, but Connie's going to she has a lot more scripting to share in the future. This is actually a video that we had developed with for this, and I think I might have to reshare my screen to include audio. So let me just reshare. I will include sound, and we'll see if this works.
We make 35,000 decisions on average each day. Some decisions are simple, some are complicated. If you are looking at this, you're likely considering the abortion pill or medical abortion. Ending a pregnancy, as stated by a high percentage of women, is not a simple decision. You owe it to yourself, regardless of your circumstances, to gather information. By following these 8 first facts, you will have a better outcome to your decision-making. Facts first steps. Get a lab-quality pregnancy test and ask to ensure it is lab quality. Get information from a trusted source, for example, one who does not gain financially from your decision. Get information on what is occurring at 3 to 4 weeks gestation so you don't find yourself with decisional regret in the near future. Get an ultrasound as early as 4 weeks gestation to estimate the gestational age of your pregnancy. Get a professional consultation, such as a registered nurse, to build a plan of action. Get a list of resources giving shared experiences related to abortion pill outcomes. Get a follow-up plan in place. This may include a second ultrasound to confirm growth, a second consult, or a follow-up visit after picking up your pills. Get a referral for any additional information you need. A doctor's office, your closest emergency department, or what to do with an adverse outcome. In other words, be clear as to what you should do if anything goes wrong. It is legal to obtain the abortion pill or medical abortion in the U.S., but from patient experiences shared with Abortion Pill Talk, we know that 99% of women who have taken the abortion pill state, "I will never do that again." Our mission is to assist you with a plan and avoid decisional regret that can last a lifetime.
All right, how do I my presentation? Oh, good. All right. Okay. So that's right. My microphone's over here now. And I know we're going over a lot of things. So hopefully this is, I'm not going too fast. And we do have a recording, or hopefully this is making sense. So one of the things that we're planning on doing with Abortion Pill Talk is providing every pregnancy clinic that joins us as a member clinic with a quarterly report for your board or for those who you want to share it with. So essentially providing a report every 3 months where we will show the data and information about what was provided as a team, what we did together and then you can then share that with supporters to encourage them to donate you can share that with your board, just so they have oversight and so on. But that's part of this is essentially this project is hopefully going to help connect with providing data to those who are supporting you through leadership and donations. So last Sunday, a very new pastor at my church taught on Micah 6:8, and essentially the verse is, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." And to me, when I was trying to think about the mission of every pregnancy clinic, this verse really echoed in my mind that pregnancy clinics, like, this is another way of explaining the mission of intercepting women who are, looking at abortion, saving lives. This is another way of saying that, to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. And so I just thought that was timely, and sort of sets up my next slide, which is this concept of abortion pill talk. The goal is to help you reach your mission more often, more frequently, and going beyond your county, or for many of us, your tri-county area, or for those in Los Angeles County, part of your county area. But yeah, essentially providing service remotely, not just to someone who lives within 30 miles, but to someone who is seeking online for answers at 2 a.m. or at 2 p.m. On Google from their home, whether they're in Texas or New York or somewhere else. Okay. This concept is national. The idea is, I'm going to share a story about New York. So when we were working on this idea 7 months ago or 8 months ago, I was talking with a gentleman with Knights of Columbus in New York. And I was telling him about this idea, and he's like, and at that point, the 6 largest clinics in New York were getting sued by the Attorney General of New York. And he said they won't want to have any more content on abortion pill on their websites. In fact, they're taking down APR content on their websites right now because they're being sued by the AG, along with Heartbeat International, the 6 largest clinics, and Heartbeat. And so he wasn't interested in abortion pill talk. And then that same week, the new executive director of Abria in California, she just came on board for Abria, and within 30 days of her being the new leadership, she let iRapture.com go as a vendor. And one of the last things that we did for her was we took down content on abortion pill reversal, because Abria was in a lawsuit by the California AG for about, let's see here, for about, I think about 1.5 years at that point. And essentially, and I asked her, did you talk to NIFLA or ADF or Thomas More? And she said no, but she had to take down the content, and she went the direction that she went based on her leadership. But all that to say is that happened in a week, and it made me realize, what would it look like if someone in a different state, maybe Florida, maybe Texas, maybe Louisiana, maybe Missouri, really anywhere in the country, what if they provided help to someone in New York when the New York clinics are taking down content? Or what would it look like for someone somewhere in the country to help in California when Abria, they have like 20 locations across 4 states, when they're taking down content on abortion pill or abortion pill reversal? What would it look like for someone in Texas with a friendly AG, or in Florida with a very friendly AG? What would it look like for help to be provided remotely? And so that's where some of these ideas started shifting and changing. And we started increasing our scope of concept of going national. But then we drew back because we've learned that the Infinite Worth nursing, the flight of nurses with Infinite Worth, are licensed in about 36 to 40 states. And so we're currently limiting ourselves to the states where we will be advertising through Abortion Pill Talk when we start this, to the states in which an infinite worth nurse is licensed to practice medicine. And I've learned about reciprocal licensing. So like if someone's licensed in one state, there's often a reciprocal state where they're also then licensed in, but they may have to do all that to say is we're going to be limiting ourselves to the states in which infinite worth nurses are licensed, which might end up being somewhere between 36 to 40 something states. But there is a goal line or a vision for all 50 states to be covered by that flight of nurses. But we want to try and, we want to have medical oversight, even though this isn't a medical decision. We're trying to help someone avoid an elective medical procedure. But we are trying to work under the infinite worth nursing license scope. And hopefully that made sense. Okay. Let's see here. So the goal is to be able to expand your reach and going national together. So we, meaning each of you and many others who aren't in this room, can help someone who is not in your county with a non-medical decision or a decision to avoid an elective medical decision. To avoid an elective medical decision by helping her get information about her body and about the abortion pill and about medical options, helping her where she is on her phone and in her home. And that may not be the best worded statement. I wrote that this morning. I'm looking at it now, and I feel like I should reword it about 2 more times before maybe saying it out loud, but I feel like it's a little bit too wordy. But all that to say is we're trying to help her where she's at, and we want to help as a team nationally. Part of this Abortion Pill Talk project is for it to have a medical counseling look and to not essentially to not use traditional pregnancy clinic language or wording, as some of those pregnancy clinic names like CPC, pregnancy clinic, there's been a lot of attacks on our branding and names as a group, and we have a lot of names, so it's pretty hard for them to attack, but at the same time there's been a lot of attack. And so part of us is to have a neutral, less barriers approach so that we can use medical and counseling language to increase the reach, to increase the interest in our message and call to action, with the goal of trying to reduce, the bounce rate of someone saying, oh, that's a pro-life group or that's a pregnancy clinic. We're trying to be very smart about every word used in this campaign. And then we can, after building trust and rapport, step 2 will be to connect them with a pregnancy clinic where after we have trust and rapport, bringing them to the place that will provide care, love, and hope, and and real care. So SMS and 24/7 coverage. So based on younger generations, if they have the option to call or send an SMS message to someone they don't know, SMS is preferred. SMS messages stay on their smartphone, so they can see them in 30 minutes. They can look at them again at night. They can look at them again when they're available to, when they think, I'm not sure what to do. Or they might look at them every 30 seconds, like a lot of us might look at SMS as we're trying to think about what to do. It stays on the phone. They can see the last text. They can see the links. They can click on them more than once. And then nurses can also follow up by sending another SMS message based off of when the last message was sent. And they can also be tracked with the Infinite Worth team being able to send a follow-up. Abortion-minded clients are more likely to reach out after hours, according to Brandon. I heard this at the last, I think it was the Heartbeat conference, Heartbeat International, where he spoke. And he was saying that during the evening, the after hours, abortion-minded clients were 2 times more likely to contact a clinic compared to during business hours. And he had some data on that. Now this one was really interesting. This insight here came from Rachel Owens with Infinite Worth. So this really sort of flipped my view of abortion restricted states and abortion unrestricted states. So if you think about it, if you're in Texas and there's a heartbeat bill where if the heartbeat is detected, it's now illegal to get an abortion, someone may not want to see or hear that heartbeat because it's illegal for them to do what they want to do if they see or hear that heartbeat. And so getting someone to have an ultrasound in Texas is coming with roadblocks based on how the enemy is, essentially telling someone to just simply take the abortion pill if they've missed their period. And they're essentially not advising to get an ultrasound or to know what's going on with their body. All that to say is when there's a heartbeat bill, the reality is that we may only have hours. We may not have days, or we may have days, but we may not have days. We don't have weeks, and we definitely don't have months. We may have hours, and we may have less than 24 hours. So we essentially need to be available to speak right away. And having like someone respond to the phone call or with the SMS within 30 seconds, within a very quick response time, and then providing care and direction and questions and counseling right away is absolutely critical, because there are, if they find out they might have a missed period or have a positive pregnancy test that they took themselves, they're going to be making the decision within hours, probably in Florida, Texas, and these states that have abortion bans or heartbeat bills. And then the flip side is then like in California, New York, Washington, Illinois, where there's unrestricted abortion, we may actually have a lot more time. We may, they're not in nearly as much of a hurry to make the drive or to, and so it's very different. Essentially in these states, we have time. And so that's something to think about. Before talking with Rachel, I would have thought abortion restrictions were reducing. I had a very different outlook on abortion restrictions versus unrestricted states. And now I'm realizing the enemy is crafty and trying to leverage everything. And by looking at what they're doing, I can see we need to be very quick to respond in every state, but especially those with abortion restrictions. And hopefully that makes sense. That was, a bit of an epiphany experience for me when I heard that. So essentially in Texas and states like that, she's at home, she can order the pills, and she doesn't have to get them from New York. She could get them from overseas, or she may be getting them from someone who stockpiled them. And that website we looked at earlier, there were 2 different calls to action. One was, I need the pills now, or I need the pills in the future. And it even talks about the idea of stockpiling them for when you might need them in the future. And so we have less than 24 hours, I think. We have less than 2 to 5 business days, or more likely less than 24 hours. Based on shipping or access. So I know that was a lot. I didn't go over pricing. I didn't go over the phone call tree method. I'm trying to think of what else I didn't go over. I didn't go over economy of scale of pay-per-click ads by having a whole group use a national campaign and not having to pay for a manager per account or per member clinic. So there's a lot of savings involved with this idea because we're managing a campaign as a group more so than having to have 50 campaigns with 50 different people managing each one, person managing each one, where we have economy of scale. We're also doing a lot of things where we can share from the shared data by essentially partnering together. And when it comes to the phone call tree, I didn't make a slide about this, but I was thinking about it until I forgot. So when someone sees the website, there's a number that they can call or text. And if they call, it'll say press 1 to connect with a nurse over SMS right away. And they can press 1, and then it will send them a text, SMS text to that device. And if it turns out to be a landline, it'll bring them back to the phone call. But essentially, that's a way to filter most of the traffic to the SMS. But then it'll say press 2 if you would like to hold to speak to someone over the phone now. And if they press 2, we're going to have a calendar of call groups. So each member clinic can say, I'd like to be on these different time slots, and then we can have what's called a ring group, and it will ring the 10 clinics or people who have signed up for that slot, and the first one to answer it will hear a whisper message. It says call from Abortion Pill Talk, and then they get to field that call. And all that to say is we have a pretty elaborate strategy for fielding the phone calls and funneling most traffic to SMS, because it's much easier to manage via SMS than it is via phone call. Because an SMS, an infinite worth nurse can handle several SMS chats at the same time, while a phone call requires a one-to-one. And so that's what we have today, and we'll be having more. We would like to share more in the future. This is a work in progress, but I do believe it's very timely and exciting. But yeah, so if you would like to unmute yourself, and if you have any questions or thoughts, we'd love to hear them. Don't be, no reason to be shy. Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob, if we could just summarize a little bit of what it actually entails, is that there's a website that the gals will land on. They'll see that the website that Jacob showed you, and they either have the option to call in or text in. If they call in, they'll get that phone call. That phone call would then go to either a live person, depending upon what they choose, or the SMS live chat. If there's not a live person available, it would automatically go to the chat anyway, and they would be let know why. And then if it's a live person, once they talk to that person or they talk to the nurse online, and they have made a decision they need to speak to someone in person, then they would be sent to one of the centers that's closest to them. If there is not a center that's close to them, then they would be sent to a center that is that has an affiliation with Infinite Worth, and then it would kind of go down the line to just be able to say, okay, well, we have a center near you. But the first people that would, they would send it to is someone that would be closest to them if there's one available, because we always want to get these women in to talk to somebody in person as well. So you will also be receiving, like Jacob said, the quarterlies, so that your donors would be able to be involved in this. And then there's also going to be trainings that you'll be involved in, because all the women will be trained by Connie to be able to understand how to respond to these gals, because that's a real struggle. Like usually when you're just answering the phone, you're answering the phone, but these phone calls have to be answered so that they can be really, like, you can just drive to the point right away, get these gals engaged. So those trainings will happen. You'll also be part of, like he said, the Google ads. So there'll be Google ads that are going to be going out nationally. And then on top of that, we are discussing still some social media strategies. We haven't quite got that far, but that's down the road as well. So there'll be social media campaigns. So this would all be part of the whole package together. Questions?
Yeah. Yeah, so one of the main phrases that we'll be targeting would be things like abortion pill by mail, and phrases that are in that genre. When someone is looking for an abortion pill or looking for taking the abortion pill but hasn't taken it yet. Those are, when they're looking to talk about the abortion pill, those are the kind of Google search phrases that we will be advertising and posturing to show up when someone does those sorts of searches. Yeah, and this is a new concept, a new idea, and we will be having future webinars to essentially share as we get ready closer to launch day. Inviting people to, if they would like to join. That's coming.
I think we're looking at sometime this spring launching it.
We're getting closer. Yeah, we've done a lot of work, but there's still, sometimes it's, I feel like there's still, we have several more weeks of work probably left to do.
Seems like when we get super close, we find there's a few more loose ends to tie up, but it's happening soon.
Yeah. We did get a pretty fun phone number for this project. It's what is it? 707-777-7411. So a bunch of sevens along with the information digits 411. And we'll be following up with more information, and we'll be sending a copy of the recording, make that available for those who we have who are interested in this, who can share it, and
we'll have a packet with some the slide deck, the recording, and also the brochure, a link to the website, and kind of just an overview for clinics or centers. So we'll be sending that out.
Yeah, and I believe the price tag we'll be coming out with eventually is going to be like $375 per month, and the largest portion out of that price tag is going straight to the Google Ads cash spend to help reach women searching on these phrases, and which will then bring in that traffic for the team, Infinite Worth team, and those who are fielding the phone calls to provide service and care to those people who are reaching out to us. But yeah, essentially the largest part of the budget is going to the Google Ads. We also have parts of the budget going to like social media design, social media advertising, to really reach people when they're searching on the phrase abortion pill phrases. Hey Bob, it looks like you might have just missed it. We're going to be sending up a link to the video. You might have missed it by an hour.
Oh,
No
I'm
worries.
sorry.
No
I've
worries.
been buried with other stuff.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
okay.
send you a link.
Okay.
Jacob, can you hear
Yes.
me? This is Ruth
Yes.
from Pregnancy Counseling Center.
Yes.
I don't know if I missed it, but what is the estimated time for the training? Do you know how many meetings or anything of what that involves?
We will ask Connie,
Okay,
and we can let Connie answer that one. I would really like to have a webinar with Connie present and really having her lead the next webinar, because she brings so much to the table. I might be able to bring the marketing part or the business part, but she is bringing the word choice, the counseling, the training, and training is really probably the biggest part that she's bringing, along with all her expertise on as a medical / trainer for 20 plus years.
okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll send you a copy. Hopefully you'll want to hear more at the next one. And I appreciate you.
Jacob, you have
Yes.
another question.
Oh,
You have
yes.
a great question. Question for Jacob. I see the back. This is from Keith. He said, I see
Yeah.
the background in your office. Who's your favorite rock
So
bassist?
yeah, I wish I knew. I would say my favorite bassists are actually the people at my church. They inspired me to try and learn back in 2020. I haven't gotten very far. I almost put up my pickleball paddles back there, but my wife said that would look tacky, because people always think I'm a bass guitarist, even though I would like to be. I'm not. But I think if I put up my pickleball paddles, then people would actually know what I do. But yeah.
Well, to show you how old I am, I played the first guitar mass in my church. Population of the town was 3,200 people. They ran me out to the edge of the town, set my pants on fire, and told me never to come back. Yeah, I know it was a little rough go for a while. Now, of course, everybody's doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. Take care.
Y'all next time.
Thank
Sounds good.
you.